Okay, guys, today we are going to look at how to factor, let this focus, how to factor when your A is not 1. So we've looked at factoring when A is equal to 1. Now we're going to look at what happens when it's not equal to 1. Okay, so factoring when A is not equal to 1. So steps for factoring when A is not equal to 1, right? Now, you're going to check to see if the terms have a greatest common factor first, okay? So we're going to check and make sure that we don't have a greatest common factor. If we do, if you do have a greatest common factor, you're going to take that out, okay? If not, you're going to move to step 2, okay? Then you're going to use the box or the diamond method. That's that X. Okay, so you're going to use the diamond method. If you need to, put the big X like that to find two numbers that multiply to give you A times C and that add to give you the B. That's like what we did in the big X when we were talking about A equals 1. And then you're going to use the box method to find the factors of the trinomial. Okay? So let's look at, it just says factor. Let's look at this first one here. First, is there a greatest common factor of 2x squared, 5x, and 3? And there is not. So since there's no greatest common factor, we're going to start with our box. Okay, we've got 2x squared here. We've got 3 here. Now, this time when you go to do your x, it's this number, which is 2, times this number, which is 3. You're going to multiply those two numbers. 2 times 3 is 6. And then it's still that you need to add to get that middle number, 5. Okay? So if you need to, last time I think I highlighted this with a green. So 2 times 3, that gives you the 6. And then you want to add to get that 5 that's in the middle. Okay? So we're just going to think here. What can we multiply to get 6 that when we add to get 5? So let's start at 1. 1 times 6 is 6, but 1 plus 6 is 7. So that doesn't work. 2. 2 times 3 is 6, and 2 plus 3 is 5. So that works. 2 and 3. So I'm going to circle those. Those are my two numbers. Now remember, we're going to bring those two numbers over here and put them in my box with X's. It doesn't matter where you put them. 2x, 3x. After you do that, what is the greatest common factor across the top? Well, that's 2x. And then 2x times x is 2x squared. 2x times 1 is 2x. X times 3 gives me that 3x. And then 3 times 1 is 3. Okay, so we have our answers right here. Those two inside parentheses. So we've got 2x plus 3 times x plus 1. And that gives us our answer. Okay? Next, we have the 3y squared plus 4y minus 15. So is there a greatest common factor across there? 3, 4, and 15 have nothing in common. So we're going to go to our box. Okay, the top left is 3y squared. The bottom right is negative 15. Okay, now remember, we're multiplying the 3 times the negative 15 to come up with the top number of my x. So negative 15 times 3, that's a negative 45. That's where I get that number from. And then this number down here is the 4. Okay? So I need to add to get 4. All right. Two numbers that will multiply to give me negative 45. So if I'm multiplying to get a negative, that means one of these is positive and one is negative. Positive times negative gives me a negative. All right, let's start at 1. 1 and 45. Well, since these are opposite signs, that means I'm subtracting to get this number. So 45 minus 1 is 44. That doesn't work. All right, let's try 2. 2 and 42 doesn't go into 45, so that doesn't work. Does 3 go into 45? Let's check. And you can do this on a calculator. Yes, it goes 15 times. So 3 and 15, but 15 minus 3 is 12, so that doesn't work. All right, let's go to 4. 4 does not go into 45. 5 does, though. 5 times 9. And 9 minus 5 is 4, so that works. So I'm using 9 and 5. I need it to be a positive 4. That means my bigger number over here, 9, is going to have to be positive. So positive 9, negative 5. Okay, these are the two numbers that we're going to put in our box. So 9y and negative 5y. Right? What's the greatest common factor across the top? That's 3y. 3y times what is 3y squared? That's y. 3y times what is 9y? That's 3. Y times what is negative 5y? That's negative 5. And 3 times negative 5 is a negative 15. So our two answers are here and here, the two factors. So we have 3y minus 5 and y plus 3. And that's the two answers that we get there. Okay? All right, I'm going to do one more with you here. Number 3. Is there a greatest common factor of 9, 21, and 8? There is not. So we're going to go straight to our box. Okay, we've got 9n squared. That's the first term. And the last term is negative 8. All right, now we're multiplying. Negative 8 times 9. That's negative 72. So we're multiplying to get a negative. If you're multiplying to get a negative, that means one of these has to be positive and the other has to be negative. And then we're adding to get that 21. Okay, so since these are positives and negatives, one's positive, one's negative, we're actually going to be subtracting to get that number. Okay, all right, so 1 and 72, 72 minus 1 is 71, so that doesn't work. All right, 2. Let's see here. 2 times 36, I believe, is 72. Yep, but 36 minus 2 is 34, so that doesn't work. Does 3 go into 72? That's 2, 12, 24, and 24 minus 3 is 21. So 3 and 24, that works. 24 minus 3 is 21. I need the positive number, the biggest number to be positive because I have a positive 21. So that's going to be positive 24 and negative 3. And these two numbers go over here in my box. Doesn't matter where. Minus 3n and 24n. Okay, across the top, my greatest common factor is 3n. 3n times what is 9n squared? That's 3n. 3n times what is negative 3n? That's minus 1. 3n times what is 24n? That's 8. And 8 times negative 1 is negative 8. So our two answers are here and here. That makes 3n plus 8 times 3n minus 1. Okay, look at those three. See if you have questions. If you do, let me know. And go ahead and work 4, 5, and 6 before you watch the next video to see how you did.